safari guide through the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. A quick safety reminder, please remain safe with your hands, arms, and legs inside the truck at all times, and make sure your face covers on for full duration of the trip. And if you look right above your head, we have a safari guide to help you identify the many different animals that we'll see today. I can't guarantee we'll see every single one, but I usually have to look to see a vast majority of them. Right now we're just waiting for that lantern to be fully lit because that's the signal for when we are clear to enter the reserve.
You excited, Brittany?
Our first destination on our adventure is the Little Missouri Forest, and this is a water-cool region where animals will come for water. And if you look to your right-hand side, that is actually an okapi right there. And by looking at that striped pattern on her legs, you may think they're related to zebras, right? But no, actually, their closest living relative is the giraffe because they have the same skull structure and they both have prehensile long tongues. And if you look to your left-hand side, we have two different types of animals here. The brown animals with the horns are the bongos, and their horns are leaned backwards to help them move through thick vegetation without getting stuck, and they can grow to 32 to 36 inches. And the pale gray animals are the greater kudus, and those are all females because the females do not have horns. Only the males will have horns, and they can grow up to 6 feet in length. But both males and females can jump until a height of about 8 feet. And if you look to your right-hand side on top of this hill through the bushes, that is a yellow saddle-billed stork over there. They get their name because of that yellow saddle-shaped crest on their beaks, and they actually use their beaks to make a rattling sound. And if you look to your left-hand side, we actually have a black rhinoceros resting by the canyon wall over there. And I can tell this is a black rhinoceros because they're smaller in size compared to the white rhinoceros. And if you look closely at the rhino's mouth, it's actually rounded with a pointed upper lip. The key difference to tell rhinos apart are by their mouth shapes. Today, there are a total of 5,000 black rhinos left in the wild, while most of them are on protected land. And females typically reproduce every 2 to 5 years. So far, folks, we're doing pretty good on our safari adventure. I mean, for a start, we actually got to see all the animals in the Little Missouri Forest back there, so who knows, we might actually get to see all of them out today. Down towards our second destination, which is the Safi River, and a lot of the animals that live here will be in the water or by the water's edge. But the river doesn't end here, folks. It continues just around the riverbed here to the left. And we actually got a couple of hippos on our left-hand side right now. Hippos have to stay submerged in water throughout most of the day because they don't have sweat glands, so they need to stay submerged in water so they don't overheat. The most likely time you'll see them on land is at nighttime because they'll go get some food when it's not so hot. Now, interesting fact, hippos cannot swim. They mostly just float above the water or even sink to the bottom and just walk on the riverbed floor. We also have some pink-backed pelicans joining the hippos here, and these pelicans get that name because when it's mating season, the skin on their backs will start to turn pink. Their wingspan's about 5 to 7 feet long, and their eggs will take about 30 days to incubate and hatch. That's approximately 1 month. And they live to this near quiet, tranquil waters, too. Now, to your left-hand side, we do have some Nile crocodiles, and Nile crocodiles are the largest species of crocodilians in Africa. They can reach heights of about 16 feet tall and weigh 500 pounds. And if you look down there, you may notice that there are some of them with their mouths open on land. That is actually how they regulate their body temperature, by opening their mouths and exhaling excess body heat so they don't overheat. So, no, they are not waiting for food to simply walk into their mouths. And don't people, if you see them on land doing nothing, they're not lazy, they're merely patient, waiting for food to come near them. We are now leaving the Softy River and we're going out towards the savannah. In fact, one landmark that tells us we're here is this mailbox tree to the right. And these trees will be leafless for about 9 months out of the whole year. And they remain that way in order to conserve water due to the limited amount of rainfall that comes down here in the savannah. In fact, you'll find that most of the plants around you have learned to adapt and survive with the little amount of water that's available to them and still continue to flourish to this day. To our right-hand side in the corner, those small cinnamon-colored animals are the springboks. They are the third fastest land animals in the world, capable of reaching a top speed of 50 miles per hour. They can jump 6 feet in the air and spring forward 18 feet across. In fact, springboks are the national animal of South Africa, and their image have often been used as mascots for sports teams. To our left-hand side, on top of this hillside, we do have a pack of African wild dogs, and they also go by the name of painted dogs because of their paint splatter on their coats. And each coat marking is different to help them identify one another so they don't get confused. And painted dogs happen to be the most deadliest hunters out here in the savannah. They will continuously pursue their prey until their prey collapses from exhaustion. And unlike most members of the canine family, they only have 4 toes on each paw, and they actually chirp instead of howling or barking. To our left-hand side, we do have some sable antelope over there, and they have 2 uses for their horns: to display dominance and to defend themselves. And there's both a dominant male and a dominant female. The dominant male is the leader of the herd, while the dominant female directs the herd in which way to go, to travel. These red orange hills here are actually termite mounds, and they are home to termites. And these mounds can be made out of red clay, saliva, and animal dung. Also to our left, we do have a dazzle of zebras out here, and a dazzle is what you call a herd of zebras. And zebras can reach a maximum height of about 5 feet tall, and within 20 minutes after birth, baby zebras can actually stand and move. Zebras do not neigh or whinny like horses. They actually communicate through a barking sound. And they use that sound combined with their own body language to communicate with one another. Straight up ahead, we have 3 different types of animals. Right now on the far right-hand side of the hill, we have white-bearded wildebeest. Their African name is called the gnu because of the sound they make, which sounds like gnu. And they can migrate a total of 800 to 1,000 miles a year. We also have a Patterson eland, the largest species of antelope in Africa. And they actually decorate their horns with plants to attract mates. And right between the palm trees, those are the Nkoli cattle over there. And they are actually one of the few domesticated animals out here in Africa. Their horns can grow up to 3 to 4 feet long, and inside is a hollow honeycomb structure which allows blood flow to circulate through their horns and cool down their body temperature by 15 degrees. We got another zebra on our left-hand side walking close to us, actually. And a zebra's stripe patterns are all different. They're not all alike. They have unique characteristics like our fingerprints. And we have some more zebras on our left, but we also have a tower of giraffes too. That's what you call a group of giraffes, a tower. Now, giraffes are the tallest land animals in the world, capable of reaching heights of about 18 to 20 feet tall, and baby giraffes are born at 6 feet tall, and they can stand and move within an hour after birth. An interesting fact, by the way, giraffes actually do make a sound. It's a low bleating sound, almost similar to a sheep, actually. So if you know what a sheep sounds like, that's the same similar sound that a giraffe makes. Special close-up treat because across the water on the right-hand side we do have an African elephant enjoying some lunch right there, right by the water's edge. And you may notice that this elephant is flapping his ears back and forth. That is actually one of the many ways that elephants will stay cool throughout the day, and this helps cool down their body temperature by 15 degrees. And this elephant in particular happens to be a male because anytime you see an elephant by themselves in the wild, those are the males, because the males will sometimes separate from the herds to be by themselves. But despite that, elephants are still very social animals and they won't stay alone for long. Oh, and I can briefly see a few mandrills right there. There's one hiding underneath that log that's on through the trees right there. Mandrills are the largest species of monkeys in the world, and the males are identified by their brightly colored faces, and they'll get brighter whenever they're excited. But both males and females have built-in pouches in their cheeks, which will allow them to store food in those pouches for later consumption.
Whoa, what do you think, Brittany? Did you like the elephant?
Yes, elephants that do separate from the herds, male ones, will actually sometimes rejoin the herds. In fact, they're very social, so they're more likely to rejoin the herds, or boys only, no girls allowed club for elephants. And while we're on the subject, sometimes elephants are actually known to walk underneath this bridge here. Well, it's very rare to see that happen, though. That we're going to pass through. Not only do elephants travel through here, but they have a special reason to visit these red clay cliffs, because they actually scratch up the red clay to break it up and actually consume it to get some more minerals in their diet. In fact, red clay cliffs that are scratched is a good sign that we're actually going to travel into elephant territory, which is where we are right now. And I do see a couple elephants off in the distance here, but kind of hard to see with all these trees in the way, but fret not, there are more angles to look just up ahead. We got a herd of elephants on our left-hand side. Now, an African elephant's main diet consists of red clay and a wide variety of vegetation ranging from fruit, roots, trees, grass, and bushes. In fact, one elephant can consume as much as 300 pounds of food a day. And you may notice that there's some dry mud or dirt on their skin. They actually use that as a natural sunblock so they do not get sunburned. And they're not the only animals that will use that strategy. Rhinos will do the same thing as well, so that's something both rhinos and elephants have in common. Left-hand side, right by this pond, we have some flamingos, and these are the rare flamingos, the lightest color of pink out of all the flamingos largest species in the world. And they're actually born the color gray, not pink, because if you look closely, there are some that are the color gray, but they will turn pink later on as time will progress thanks to their primary main diet, which is briny shrimp, and the shrimps are high in carotene, and that actually gives them their pink colors later in life. We are now traveling into the west end of Savannah, and this is actually my favorite location down here on the reserve because this is where the big cats are located, like cheetahs and lions. So if we do see them, you might want to get your cameras ready. Today, because if you look on your left-hand side on this hill, we actually do have a cheetah resting in plain sight right in front of us on our left. And cheetahs are the fastest land animals in the world, capable of reaching a top speed of 60 to 70 miles per hour. And if you look closely at the cheetah's face, they have special tear marks around their eyes. Those are not scars, by the way. Those tears actually help them see through bright glares in the sunlight. And unlike most big cats, cheetahs actually do not roar. They communicate through a series of high-pitched chirps. And they are the only big cats that can actually purr. Oh, and to our right-hand side, we have an ostrich traveling up this hill right here. And ostriches are the largest species of birds in the world, and also the heaviest. And they can reach a top speed of 40 miles per hour. Come to look for prey. In fact, I briefly see a male lion through this tall
right
grass
there.
right here, through that bush. I'm going to get us turn around for a better look. And here you go, folks. We actually do have a male lion on our left-hand side. Now, a male lion actually has two benefits for their manes. The first benefit is it acts as defense from attacks, and the second benefit is male lions will use their manes to attract mates. And when it comes to responsibilities within a pride of lions, the females are the ones that will do most of the hunting, while the males will actually stay at home, defend their territory, and protect the lion cubs from danger. And a lion's roar can be heard from 5 miles away. Also to our right, we have a close-up of a white rhinoceros here. And I can tell this is a white rhinoceros because they are larger in size and they have a broad, square-shaped mouth. Rhinos can also reach a top charging speed of 35 miles per hour, and they actually have a very excellent sense of smell too. In fact, there's a couple more rhinos on our right-hand side again, off in the distance in between those trees. On our left-hand side, we do have some warthogs on this hill here. Warthogs are one of the largest burrowing animals in the world. And yes, they are in fact related to domesticated pigs. And they enter their burrows backwards with their tusks exposed at the entrance to defend themselves. Oh, and we got some more ostriches on our left-hand side. In fact, one of them is laying down here on the ground. And Ostriches are flightless, so they cannot fly, but they will use their wings to help them steer and change directions while running. We got another view of the rhinos on our right-hand side. We got multiple animals on both hand sides because also on our right we do have some bontamocs here. And the bontamocs are related to the white-eared wildebeest, and there's actually a way to identify the males and females apart. The females have slimmer bodies and they have slender horns too. And if you look closely at the ostrich's feet on your left-hand side, they have a claw on their biggest toe, and they actually use that claw along with their strong kicks to actually defend themselves. And ostrich kicks could be very fatal to both predators and humans as well. So you got to be careful when getting close to ostriches. And passing through the Wadati Glen, a more shady area of the savannah where animals will come for shade and water. Yes, in regards to what's being constructed here on our left-hand side, even on reserves like these, sometimes some land maintenance is required to help benefit the animals that live here. Despite that though, we actually do not touch the grass, bushes, or trees because they do eat plants here as part of their diet. Well folks, today's safari has been quite a success today because with the exception of the scimitar horned oryx, we actually got to see 99% of the animals out here today, almost close to 100%. So with that being said, I'm pretty sure most of you got to see your favorite animals today, am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, excellent. And if you folks love what you saw here today and are inspired to see more during your trip here in Africa, I highly recommend that you check out the Little Falls Exploration Trail. Down the trail, you'll find antelope, and you can also some familiar animals on the reserve like the hippos and the okapis. And if any of you are wilderness explorers, you might want to travel there to get some exclusive badges down there. And the trail today closes at 4:30 p.m., so I wouldn't want to miss it. Well, we're about to approach the unload dock right now, folks. And let me tell you, you guys have been a fabulous tour group today. But goodbyes are rather sad and sudden, so to say down here in Africa, we say Kwaherini, which in Swahili means go well. So, with that being said, Kwaherini, ladies and gentlemen, once again, my name is Sam. Thank you for joining me on this safari adventure today. Here in Africa. At this time, once your hands are to your legs, the doors are going to open.